Hey guys, thanks for tuning into another episode of Nev's Garage. Now, if this is your first time joining us here on our channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, right? And also toggle on the little bell. That way you'll be notified when our next video drops. Don't worry too much about our other back catalogue now though, because today we've got a really great episode for you, okay? Today we're going to be looking at heat exchanger cores and how you can fix up the fins when they're damaged, right? Now, it's inevitable that sometimes, fins on heat exchangers, so radiators, intercoolers, oil coolers, stuff like that, are going to get damaged, not only in transit but also in daily use, and you're going to have to repair them, right? So I'm going to show you how to do it properly today. Let's get into it. Okay guys, so what I got here is a brand new, genuine Calsonic Radiator Core, right? This is to suit a Subaru Liberty, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to purposely damage this core, and then I'm going to bring it back up to a standard where it's acceptable, okay? So, rightio, see that? She's brand new. Now I'm going to purposely damage this side, right? So you know that the after shot I show you is the side I've actually been working on. All right. Okay. So we'll come back to that later. Now, here's our nice fresh side, okay? Now what I'm going to do is just simulate some standard damage that radiators and heat exchangers can experience, okay? So first of all, we've got, a bit of damage in transit. So something hits the box, bang, okay? Then sometimes they get damage getting them out of the box, right? When there's a bit of cardboard stray or you're not careful, boom, gets dragged across the core, okay? Now when they're on the road being used, they can get hits from rocks and so forth. This is a pretty substantial rock. Bang. Okay. They can also get bottomed out on stuff. The sidebands can get bent. Bang. Now also, top mounted intercoolers are more prone to this. Working around the engine bay with your mates. Had a few bevies. Alright, and oops, some tools get dropped. Bang. Alright, so we've got some pretty substantial miscellaneous damage on this core. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to fix it. Now before we get started on that, we need to talk tools. Alright, so first of all, we need to talk pliers. Now you're going to want to get yourself, or if you've already got, go and find a set of bent needle nose pliers, okay? But you're not going to want to use them like this. You're going to need to modify them a little, and I'll show you how, okay? So here's the set I've prepared earlier. These are my fin repairing pliers, okay? So you can see what I've done there. I've taken a standard set, okay? I've linished them down so that they're got a real fine point on the front here. Taken all the knurl off the inside, okay? Because if you leave that on, you're going to have a bad time. And I've also rounded the edges slightly, just broken the corners, okay? So that they're not sharp. Rounded the edges like this, and make sure that when you grab them, they come together, okay? And every now and then they do need a dress up, so I'm going to just do that to mine now. Okay, we're just going to run a file across the inside of the jaws just to make sure there's no jagged bits. Going to re-break the corners. just slightly. Okay. All right, no sharp bits. Okay, they're good to go. Now, they're going to be the main tool you're going to use. Okay. Strange as it sounds, we are going to need the hammer, so keep him. All right. You may need some other stuff, maybe a little brush, a little wire or brass or stainless steel brush. Have one of them handy. A couple of seal picks, different angles, have them. It's even good to have the humble biro as well, okay? Set of vice grips, some of them as well. All right, let's get started. Here's our core. Now, we're just going to start from one end and work across it. So here we go. Let me just give you a bit of a close-up if I can. Okay, so we're going to start with this knock here, all right? Now, sure, you could just straighten these up, but we need to reshape them as well, okay? So first of all, we're going to start with just one edge of these pliers, okay? And we need to just slowly flick the edges of this material up a bit. All right, and if you can't get into an area, you need to pick another tool. So right here we need a little pointy pick, okay? If you don't take the time to do this right, you're not going to get a nice result. Now the reason we can do this to aluminum heat exchangers, right, is because during the manufacturing process, when all the parts are brazed together, because of the high heat used, the material gets annealed, okay, which means it becomes softer and pliable. But it also means that it can be stretched. So when you're doing this, you need to be careful that you don't kink it or put any more bends than you need to. And the least touches you need to give it, the better. Because once you stretch it, you can't shrink it again. And you'll see what I'm doing now. I'm just slowly grabbing these and massaging them. Okay. Okay, now, you know, it looks pretty good, but we're not going to leave it like that, okay? So you see how some of these fins, they're a bit S-shaped, okay? And I can't straighten them because they're stretched. So what you need to do is we need to tighten the radius at the end here, okay? And that will pull the material out a bit. All right, so we'll just put a round shaped tool at the end there and reform that end. to give it a bit more plier love. See, it does take a lot of time if you want a good result, so be prepared. If you've got a whole core to fix, put a good block of a few hours aside. Okay, so it's starting to look better, okay, but it's still not great. Now I'll show you the reason for that. So you'll see down in there, so you'll see that we've got the shape of the face of the fin pretty good now, but because the fin is louvered, and what that means is it's cut down through the width of it, okay, so that the air goes through it. Some of those other layers of fin are also bent, okay, so we need to fix those. So once again, this is why we have our points of our pliers nice and sharp. So just one edge down inside it and slowly reshape those louvers. And this is going to make a big difference later, especially if we paint it. Not only to the looks of it, but also the operation, because if air can't flow through it, the core doesn't work. Okay, now we can start squeezing if you can get down there far enough. Okay, here's where a pen comes into play, and we use that to just reshape the ends. Okay, pretty good, huh? Okay, now we move on to our next point of damage. So this one here, and same thing, really, once the fin gets bent, it only gets bent in the same sort of way. So let's just continue across the core now, and we'll work on repairing it all. Okay guys, so it's starting to look pretty good. Now we've got this bit of damage here where the sideband was impacted now to fix, okay? So what we need to do now is get a little bit creative with our vice grips, all right? So let me just focus on that area. So you'll see there how when we impacted the sideband, it compressed these two rows of fins here and here, okay? So that sideband is punched in a little bit, right? So to enable us to fix this properly and make it look good, we need to pull out this side plate. Alright, so what we're going to do is lock our vice grips on here. In the centre of where the impact was, like this. And we're going to shield the core to protect all of our previous hard work. And we're going to knock this sideband back out with our hammer. Alright, gently, gently until we get it straight. So we can first of all check it with a rule along the tube. It's not too bad, but we need to sand it a bit more yet. And there's our side plate. You can see it's still punched in a little. So we'll give it one more smack probably. It's getting better. You'll also get a bit of an idea by the shape of the fin. It's curved like this because it's been compressed, and as we decompress it or pull it back out, those fins will straighten themselves. Okay, so we need to give it one more hit. Yep, that's getting more like it now. Pretty happy with that, so let's remove the vice grip. And what we'll do now is straighten this side plate now so that we're not moving it after we fix the fin. We'll just give it a bit of love with some multi-grips. Okay. Okay, so now we need to get to work fixing the fin. So we basically just give it the same treatment as we had the rest of the core. Okay guys, so what do you think? It's not perfect, but you know, it's pretty well repaired. If you wanted to get really emo, we could fix up a couple of spots here where the tube is compressed a little, okay? Because you know the tubes are annealed, you can do a fair bit of rework to them without them causing a problem. So I guess I could show you how to do that now. What we're going to do is just insert the fingers of our pliers down beside the fins like this, and we're going to just give that tube a bit of tough love like that from both sides. Just create a nice gap here in the fin so that we're not folding any of the fin over at the same time. Because that would be pretty hard to fix later. Now in from the other side. Like that. Okay, now that's popped that tube back into its shape. Now we're just going to work that fin again. Make it look all tidy. See, that's a lot better now. Now we'll attack this spot over here where the tube's damaged as well. I'll give you a close-up of that one. So see how the tube is compressed there where it took that impact. That's what we're going to take out of it now. Here's the one we just repaired. Okay, see, pretty darn good. Let's give this bit here the same treatment. So same thing guys. Okay, see, fins are repaired, tube's pretty well repaired. If we want to blend that in now, we just get our little soft wire brush and we just gently brush the front of the tube where it took the impact. We don't want to make it too shiny because it'll stand out. Okay, so we're just going to sort of blend it out like that. We can do that at the other spot as well. Okay, now you can barely see it. I'll give you a close-up. Okay, that's where it took the impact there. If you're really looking for it, you could see it, but get to about there and it's very hard to see. And of course get back to here and it's almost invisible. So guys, there we go. I'm going to say that's finished now. Okay. All right, guys. Well, there it is. Okay. There's the side we repaired. Okay. Now, so you can see I haven't tricked you. There's our control side. Okay. Right. And again, there's the side that we repaired. So it's always tricky with radiators and angles. So I'll show you the different angles. All right. Like that. Okay. This is because of, you know, the louvers that you see down through the fins, and also the reflectivity of the aluminum. Now, if you want to age this and make it blend in with, you know, the natural colour, so that where you repaired it doesn't stand out so much, because you can see a shadow of the line across here, right? Just spray it with some water, and that water will age it anyway. Okay, or you could just mist it with a little bit of aluminium coloured paint. So that side's pretty cactus. You reckon I can fix it? Watch this. Okay guys, so there we go. That's about 2.5 hours work, and she's looking pretty good. Now you'll see that pretty much all of the damage is repaired. Okay. Across all the areas where we purposely damaged it. We've even gone and fixed up some of the places where it was damaged from new. Right, just a bit of box damage, it's normal. Okay, now I spoke about blending before. You can see the shadow of where those marks used to be. So what we're going to do this time is just use a bit of 80 grit paper and just gently rub it across the core. Just on the damaged areas. And just fix up any snags. There won't be many. Okay, so you can see there that that's just given that top edge of the fin a bit of a shine up, so it helps blend it out. Alright, so that's a pretty damn good result, huh? Alright guys, there it is. Right, this is the side we just repaired. Okay, now it's not too bad, eh? You can see the shadow there of, you know, where it was damaged, but like I said before, a bit of water, that'll self-age, or you can just give it a bit of a mist with some silver frost or a bit of black paint, whatever you prefer, and yeah, she'll be apples. So there you go, we've restored that core, which otherwise you'd pretty much think was headed for the scrap. Rightio, so that's just a bit of a demonstration of what is possible with a bit of patience and the correct basic tools, which any of you all should have at home already. Okay, so there we go. Now that's it for this episode on Nev's Garage. Thanks for tuning in. Please make sure you subscribe to us here on our channel, and also follow us along on Instagram at Gosson Media is our handle for all the latest news and behind the scenes shots. So until next time, I'm Nev, this is my garage, and I'll see you all next time. Now it is cactus.